My connection with my horse is it goes beyond an animal and a person. Not only is she my business partner, but she becomes one of my best friends. She eats before I do. I always make sure that she's more prepared as far as warmed up, ready to go. Even if I have to pick between me or her, she's the one that gets the good treatment. And my wife always says if I could get her in the house, she'd live in the house with us. So, but the bond that guys get with their animals out here, it's unbelievable how that bond just becomes, it's a partnership, and it's a friendship, and it's almost like a marriage in sorts. And my horse, I don't want her to be in any pain. Athletes that have to perform under pain, I've had to do that. I can't continue, and I know what's at stake. She doesn't know what's at stake. She doesn't know whether we're roping for a gold buckle or whether we're roping for just kicks and giggles.
My horse, his name's Tipsy, and I spend every dollar I have on him, and I spend all the time I can with him, always playing with him, and I love him to death. Fitness level for your horses and your cattle are just as important as your fitness level for yourself, because they play just a major role in your run just as much as you do.
I think the rodeo livestock animals are taken care of really well. I mean, you can go into the back pens and you ain't gonna find a horse that's in better shape and better health than the bucking horses and the way the stock contractors take care of them.
A pro rodeo bull is an athlete because you take something that weighs anywhere from 1,200 to 2,000 pounds, and it can move as fast as they can, and they've got to be an athlete, because if they weren't, they wouldn't be able to do the things that they do. I mean, you take the things that they do and tried to simulate what they do, we can't do it, because I mean they're almost super athletes, because I mean they can do some things that's unbelievable, and it's just awesome, the things that they do.
The bylaws that the PRCA has in place for the welfare of the animal is something that is very important and that is not taken lightly. If we don't take care of our animals and the athletes at the rodeos, then the rodeo will fall away, and it's nothing without the animals. I feel that the PRCA takes every possible precaution, and they do all that they can to withhold and stand by those bylaws that they have created. Our rodeo animals at rodeos are taken care of very well. They're fed well, and every precaution is made to make sure that they have a safe competition and that they are able to go and compete and do their thing in a safe manner. The equipment that they use to help these animals buck, the bulls and the bucking horses, is essentially a flank strap that is very well padded to ensure that the animal isn't cut or undue pressure is applied. These animals are bred as rough stock, bucking stock that naturally will buck, and this is just in place to help enhance that. I have never had to treat an animal from an injury caused by a flank strap or the rigging that the cowboys use to hold on to the animal or to stay on the animal and use to compete.
The PRCA has wonderful bylaws. It's written by us, the rodeo producers, the cowboys, the rodeo committees. We put these bylaws in place to protect these animals ourselves. They're our livelihood, and we love them. They're part of the team. They're your team. You go to the function with your team. You look after your team. And I think their bylaws are very fair. And I mean, there's extenuating circumstances where injuries occur to animals, and it's not anyone's fault. I mean, the conditions of the ground can be perfect. They can still slip. There's lots of mechanisms in place to protect livestock in pro rodeo. We see that the pens are safe. We see that the arena conditions are safe before we buck them. Now, we don't have a lot of control over weather. And when we get rain, there's been several rodeo performances canceled because it's just too dangerous to try and buck them. First of all, we're going to pull a muscle or they'll fall down and hurt themselves, let alone the cowboy. And from our perspective, we're very careful about how our animals, you know, the condition of the ground when they buck and the condition of the pens that they're in. An athletic and fit animal is necessary. They're half of the duo. The cowboys are athletic and fit and well fed, and so our horses and bulls are athletic and well fed and fit.
There are 60 rules in our rule book designed for the safety of the livestock. There's not one rule in our rule book saying that a bull can't step on a cowboy or hook him with his horns. There's nothing that says, no rule that says a horse can't kick a cowboy. We've got 60 rules for the safety of livestock, none for the safety of the contestants. Our rules are to protect our horses and our bulls. As a livestock owner and a stock contractor, I said earlier, these guys are like my family. They're our livelihood. And if they don't feel good, then they don't perform well. If they don't perform well, the rodeo committee is not going to hire Corco Rodeos to come back to their rodeo next year. They're going to get somebody with horses and bulls that will buck and perform. And so we really take care of our animals, keep them in top shape. My connection with my livestock goes quite deep. They're all my kids. I've raised them. So they've grown up on our ranch. I've watched them grow and materialize, develop into horses and bulls that end up competing and showing off at the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas. So it makes me as proud as any dad would be when they see one of their offspring out on the playing field at a national event. I spend a lifetime getting a horse or bull ready for the rodeo arena. That's all we do. Our only job I've got a 20,000 acre ranch that's devoted entirely to raising horses and bulls and having them available to go to rodeos.